Breaking news. Kathy Griffin won't be attending the same New Year's Eve party this year. CNN today fired Miss Griffin as co-anchor of its New Year's Eve coverage for posing with a mask designed to look like the severed head of President Trump. A viewer warning, some may find this photo disturbing. And there it is. Disgusting.
What part?
President Trump reacted on Twitter, writing, quote, "Kathy Griffin should be ashamed of herself. My children, especially my 11-year-old son, Barron, are having a hard time with this. Sick." First Lady Melania Trump also expressed outrage, releasing a statement that said in part, quote, "A photo opportunity like this is simply wrong and makes you wonder about the mental health of the person who did it." Though Democratic Senator Al Franken said he'll still appear with her at an event in July.
Kathy's a friend, and she's a terrific comedian, but this had no business being in our public discourse.
Can she recover from this?
Well, I think she did the right thing. I think asking for forgiveness and acknowledging that this was a horrible mistake, and so I think she can.
And you're still going to appear with her?
Yes.
Wow, so still appearing with Kathy Griffin.
Guess who's not? Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper canceled his big New Year's plans with her, and I think they should. We talked about this last night on the show. The fact that CNN acted decisively about this, I think, is good, is important. And also, it's a little bit of a pushback on people that think that they can just take shots disrespectful at the office of the presidency. It's fine to be able to disagree and express your opinion, but to do something like this is so offensive and outrageous. And this isn't somebody who was, oh, by accident, an innocent mistake. No, she planned this out. She knew that it was going to be problematic. As Dana mentioned last night, you hear her on the tape ahead of time talking about, oh, we're going to have to move to Mexico after this. She knew exactly what she was doing. So good. She deserves to be punished for it.
The stunt absolutely backfired because, like Dana said yesterday, it was already in motion, the apology.
Yeah.
Do you think that Kathy owes the Trump family an apology? Because as we saw, it had a huge impact on the son.
Only if she means it. I mean, if it's another apology that, in my mind, was insincere, then no, I wouldn't do it. I think that I would never recover if Melania Trump, the First Lady of the United States, or any First Lady of the United States, said was disappointed in me like that.
Exactly.
I personally would never recover. I'd be in the fetal position under this table.
We would
feeling like a kicked dog.
That's right.
But it's true, right?
Yeah,
Greg,
she deserved it.
I mean, do you buy Kathy Griffin's apology? No one at the table buys it. CNN probably doesn't buy it. Anderson Cooper doesn't buy it. This is what she does. It was a stunt, and it blew up in her face.
Yeah, no, as Dana pointed out, she had planned this whole thing. She lost her endorsement deal with Squatty Potty, which is funny because her career was already in the toilet.
And now what will you do?
I don't know. But there's a couple of things. I do think that this was a way for her, I think she did this on purpose, to catapult herself from D to B list, to head to the top of the anti-Trump mountain.
Yeah.
Because in this era, if you lack talent the way she lacks talent, Al Franken was lying, she's not a terrific comedian, the best way to go forward is to take that express train to political relevance. And in this case, the worst things that you can say about Trump will make the best friends in Hollywood. Now Madonna will call her back and now she'll be able to say, yeah, I am crucified because of Trump. I have a bigger problem with the media saying this is a non-story because they find that Trump is an acceptable villain. If you had obviously had done this with anybody else, it would have been differently. And then the media also calls the conservatives and the Republicans and the right wing hypocrites because we're the ones that always call people out on being too politically correct.
Right.
We call people out on being snowflakes, a stupid word. However, unlike the left, we didn't actually call for her job. No one is rioting. We're not trying to ban her from speaking at colleges. That is something that the left does when they find somebody that they deem to be evil. Here, we just think she's wrong, she's stupid, she's about as funny as syphilis. But we're not saying she needs to. I don't care if she keeps her job. I don't really care. Right. I think that she knew. She wanted to get out of this. She wanted to get out of this Kathy Griffin world, this sad world that she's in, and go to a different Kathy Griffin world, which is the one of anti-Trump political relevance. And she did it.
Or back to where she belongs.
Yeah. I get a book deal.
D-list.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't think she's getting any book deal, but you never know. But I just disagree on so many levels. First of all, what she
You're
did
like a
was
parking
vile.
lot.
She was
So many
wrong,
levels.
right? But I got to say, when I hear you say, "Oh, it's the office of the presidency," I'm thinking, well, what happened when conservatives and Republicans were going so harshly against President Obama? What happened with Ted Nugent?
anybody hold
This
up-
is what we were talking
by the
about.
way, exception proves the rule.
Well, that's
exception
I'm
proves
just
the rule.
that's not the exception, because I could
Really?
go to Carl Palladino. I could keep the going name.
Can we-
That's
But
two.
No, but I can keep going. But then
All right,
you
what's the
say,
third one?
Did
then you
anybody
say-
hold up a severed head of any other
Look,
president, a
I
president
just think
Obama,
it's I
anything
think
like
it's
that?
horrific.
They
I
banned
think
the
it
rodeo
should not
clown
be.
for life.
Right.
The rodeo,
A rodeo clown,
but
why?
rodeo clowns use the mask of every president. We showed it, right? There were Bush masks, there were Clinton masks, there were Obama masks, and that rodeo clown lost his job for
And think he
life.
doesn't have transferable skills. When you're fired as a rodeo clown, where do you go?
Right.
Right.
Five,
Where do
go.
you go? Where do you go?
Well,
In the case of Ted Nugent, you go right to the Oval Office because President Trump will invite you in and celebrate. You think, well, wait, how can you celebrate
President
Ted Nugent?
Obama invited Black Lives Matter to the White House, and they
Yeah.
chanted about killing police
Are
officers.
you kidding?
We can
This
play
is
that game all day.
That is so wrong. That's not an equivalent. And Ted Nugent.
How is that not an equivalent? It's a precisely accurate
Black Lives
equivalent.
Matter has never called for killing cops. You are
You've
really
never seen
ridiculous.
a video on
That
this
is-
very
that's
show where they
ridiculous.
say, fry him up?
You know what? That's so
Pigs
absurd.
in a blanket?
That's how conversation.
been on the show watching the video.
That's how conversation and real debate in this country gets diminished, because people say ridiculous, outrage. You think, what is going on? Am I in the same world with this person?
Well,
You're not.
Juan,
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Juan, the problem is that you're not understanding. No one at this table would say that it was acceptable if somebody did it to a liberal or Democratic president.
But
We're
I don't
saying
hear this
that
outrage.
it is
No.
conduct unbecoming. I'm telling you it's outrageous conduct, and
is
I don't care how
outrageous.
somebody votes or who they are, who they believe in. It's not acceptable to do.
Agreed. But I think Republicans, especially some now on the Trump side, are reveling in this. It's like, oh, you know what? We are so resentful of the
reveling?
Hollywood elites and the Kathy Griffins, and this is our opportunity to tell them off. But they didn't have this
I
reaction
agree, but
when
you know
they
what?
were going
Maybe
after Obama.
we deserve it. Like, maybe you're right. Maybe people are reveling in it because we've been through it ourselves for so long.
Ted Nugent's one example. You've had Madonna saying she wants to bomb the White House. You have Kathy Griffin now saying this. Sarah Silverman says she wants an armed overthrow of the White House. There's been a lot of
Where is she
violent
to
threats
defend her brother?
directed at this president in the last 100 days. You can name maybe one person said something. I think this is what Ted Nugent said. If Barack Obama becomes the president in November, again, I will either be dead or in jail by this time next year.
Oh, no. You want me to tell you some more,
Not
Jesse?
that
'Cause I can say-
acceptable, but at the
Jesse,
same time, it's not like holding a severed
Jesse,
head that was bleeding.
Jesse, I think you're just underinformed on this issue. Ted Nugent said the man basically was a subhuman mongrel.
yeah.
Juan,
Ted-
that's disgusting, but that's
oh.
not threatening his life. And that's what we're talking
Jesse,
about.
Jesse, look, I'm just going to tell you. You know what he said? He said, here's my machine gun. Put your mouth on it. That's pretty horrible,
Kimberly,
Jesse.
what
I know, but I guess one.
he said and what Kathy Griffin
nobody
said,
is
is that
saying
legal?
right, but here's what I'm trying to say. We get that that is not appropriate and is offensive.
Correct.
So is this.
I agree.
So what's your point?
My point is, oh boy, when this happened on the other shoe, I didn't hear such outrage on the right saying, you know what, Mr. Nugent, that's unacceptable. We don't like President Obama. We differ with his policy.
We
don't like
did
it.
on this program and talk about Carl Palladino, and we did say it wasn't appropriate. So sorry.
I just wonder what Kathy Griffin really thought was going to happen. Like, did she
She
plan
said
it
it.
out?
Yeah, she said.
She said, I'm going to have to move to Mexico. It's going to be so
call
bad.
your dad, apologize.
So like, the short-term pain of this will lead me to
better
some sort
things.
of career.
I mean, you have to think about, like, CNN fired her for this. Apparently, they haven't watched the previous New Year's Eves because, in my view, it's her performances on New Year's Eve that are actually worse than this one picture.
I remember that
because
one
she
thing?
did it every year.
I remember that one thing she did.
punishable.
Yes, she
Well,
remember she's strapped.
her sin is that she's no KG.
That's true.
you.
No one is. You know what
Did
else
you have
Kathy
She's a
that?
Griffin
reverse
said?
KG.
Well done. Kathy Griffin also...
Remind me never to reverse myself inside out.
When Sarah Palin put those targets on the map of districts she wanted to flip,
Yeah.
Kathy Griffin blamed Sarah Palin for the Arizona shooting of Gabby Giffords.
Yep.
Now, years later, look what happened. She's holding the severed head of the president.
And what is...
Would she ever be responsible if anybody takes a swing at President Trump?
A
By her
swing?
very logic,
No, it's
She
much
would
worse.
have to hold whoever made a threat or tried to do something against President Trump responsible.
And remember,
just say,
Democrats used that with the Montana blaming the guy shaking up the reporter on Trump.
You know what? To me, Congressman Gifford has said this is reprehensible. Chelsea Clinton said today, vile, wrong, not funny. So I don't get it. It's
That's
not
the
like
title of her memoir.
Yeah, well, I don't see that. I don't see Democrats somehow supporting Kathy Griffin.
No, I think Democrats finally woke up to the fact that what's been going on in their party is totally unacceptable.
And the split screen shot on this is Kathy Griffin on one side with our president, and on the other side is Jihadi John from ISIS. So there you go.
It's so bad even Democrats can say
But the thing is, how much you want to guarantee that because she insulted the acceptable villains in Hollywood and the media, how long will she be down?
She'll be presenting at the Oscars by February.
Exactly. If it was anybody else,
heard it here first.
If it was reverse, your career would be over. In this case,
All right.
she's
well,
fine.